the Department of Education will be closed all day today due to, quote, security reasons. This after the department cut nearly 50% of the staff. Here's what Education Secretary Linda McMahon had to say about it.
Well, clearly we're not taking away education. The president never said that. He's taken the bureaucracy out of education so that more money flows to the states. Better education is closest to the kids, with parents, with local superintendents, with local school boards. I think we'll see our scores go up with our students when we can educate them with parental input as well.
All right, the Wall Street Journal's Kim Strassel joins me now. Kim, is this how this looks like the first step towards getting rid and abolishing the Department of Education entirely? Is that where we're going?
Well, let's hope so, Stu. You know, I've heard some critics of the Education Department, the Federal Education Department, call this an experiment in federal control on education. I think that's too generous because in experiments, you don't know what's going to happen. It was always clear from when the Department of Education was created, it was a payoff to the unions by Jimmy Carter for their political endorsements, and it was set up and has served as a handmaiden for teacher union priorities ever since. It's not about the kids. This is about making state and districts run and chase after federal dollars that lock them into best practices. Most of that money is used to pay the salaries of DOE or to require these districts to hire more middle management that fill out all the grant applications and lock these districts into doing these federal requirements. And it doesn't allow them to actually focus on their own kids. So at the very least, I don't think he can get rid of all of this money on his own, but, you know, block grant it, give states total ability to make their own decisions about how they're going to use it to better their education scores. That's not what's happened for more than 40 years.
I sense that the teachers' union may be on the way out within a few years. What do you think?
Well, look, this is a major source of their power. And then if you look out, what we've seen is that COVID and the lockdowns and school closures were a huge wake-up call for parents. They are now re-engaged. They are calling. We have had this massive school choice movement spreading across the states and all kinds of innovation going on there. Now another piece of it is to deal with public education. And right now, again, one of the straitjackets to those districts getting creative about how they do things is the Department of Education.
Yeah, it is. The University of Pennsylvania is freezing some hiring, reviewing capital spending as well. They face funding cuts from Trump over anti-Semitism on campus. Now, Kim, earlier this morning, we had a professor from Columbia on our program. Here's what he said about anti-Semitism on campus. Roll tape.
What we have on our campuses, and it's not just Columbia University, it is not just the Ivy League. We are seeing decades of indoctrination against not just Israel and the allies of America, not just anti-Semitism, but indoctrination in the classrooms. Professors who are brainwashing the minds of the future leaders of America against the West. It does remind me of the 1930s in terms of the brainwashing, the mindless following of Hamas and Hezbollah.
Okay, so now we're taking the money away. Will that finally root out anti-Semitism on our college campuses?
I think it's a better shot than anything that's come up until now, Stu. I mean, if you think about it, look, we've hauled these people in front of Congress. Presidents have issued warnings. The communities of these universities and parents have complained, and nothing really has happened. Now, the one thing that did seem to get their attention was when donors started to say, we're not going to give money anymore. And this is one of the merits of pulling back federal dollars, too, because it increases and enhances the seriousness of that. I mean, by the way, Stu, I think people were mesmerized to see that $400 million to Columbia from the federal government. Like, what on earth is all that money going for and funding? But at the very least, if we are going to be that generous, they should be complying with civil rights law, for instance, and doing something to make sure that their campus is indeed safe for everyone who attends.
But the professor did make the point that the scientists and the engineers, they've not been infected by anti-Semitism. It is the humanities. That's where anti-Semitism lives. Last word to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to make those distinctions, but fundamentally, maybe we need pushback from those departments to get change in the other departments that aren't listening and getting the message.
Good point. Kim Strassel, thanks as always for joining us. See you again real soon, I hope. Thank you.
Thank you.